Good wishes, dear students. In the previous class, we have learnt calculating the packing efficiency in a simple cubic arrangement. In today's class, we will learn about packing efficiency in a body-centered cubic arrangement. Now, packing efficiency, the formula is total volume occupied by the spheres in a unit cell divided by the volume of a unit cell into 100. Volume of a unit cell, when we say it's a primitive type of unit cell. What's the meaning of primitive? Atoms or ions or molecules are present only at the corners. How many corners are there? 8 corners are there. In terms of unit cell, when we say they are represented in a 3D dimension in the form of a cube. So volume of a cube or a unit cell is equals to A cube. A cube, we get it from the edge length, that is A into A into A. Now let's draw the diagram. Now, if we take this to be the cube, how many corners are there? 8 corners are there. Done. Now, when we say body-centered cubic, how many atoms will be there within the body of a unit cell? Only one atom will be there. In the previous classes, I also have given you the term called body diagonal. What's the meaning? Diagonal, when we say it is drawn along the opposite edges. So, either you can draw it from any direction. I'm drawing only in terms of one direction. So, there is a diagonal drawn from one end to the other end through the atom that is present within the body of a unit cell. So now if we see here one more point. Now what's the edge length here? The edge length is equals to A. That is, the edge length is equals to A. By now you know the meaning of edge length. The edge length here also is equals to A. Everywhere the edge length will be equal to A. Point number 1. Now as we have seen it in the simple cubic unit cell. Now if you consider this to be the atom or a particle within the body of a unit cell. Now when we draw the diagonal, what happens? The diagonal is drawn from one corner to the other corner within the body. So we mean to say, if I draw the diagonal in this direction, the center atom contributes the whole volume of the sphere. Those at the corners contribute only one sector of it. So the same concept I'm going to draw here. So if we take it to be, there is a sphere contributing its sector. There is also a sphere contributing its sector. The central atom contributes the whole of the sector. The whole volume is being contributed. So now if we see here, what will be the radius? The radius is equals to R. What will be the radius of this sector is equals to R. Now this happens to be the diameter of the circle. Now diameter is equals to what? Diameter is equals to 2R. So how many radiuses are here? 1R here and 1R here. Together they make up to 2R. So along the diagonal, if we calculate the radius, how many R values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. They are equal in length. So I've got here 1R here and 1R here. My circle happens to be a smaller size. You remember better, this one will be the correct structure is here. And here R and R. So together how many R's we've got here? 4R. We'll come back to this point later. Now we'll move on to. Now what's the volume of the sphere formula? Volume of the sphere is equals to 4 by 3 pi R cube. Now as you know, we know the value of pi and 4 by 3. We have to calculate the value of R here. Unless we know the value of the radius, we can't calculate the volume of the sphere. So from this arrangement, we have to calculate the volume of the sphere. So please see what I'm going to do here. The calculation is not difficult, but a little bit of extra understanding. Now I know the edge length of, let me name it. This side to be A, B, C and D. Name it as E, F, G and H. So all the 8 corners I have named. The next point what I'm going to work here is, I know the edge length of AB, edge length of BC and edge length of GC. Now 4R is equals to, how can I write here? This 4R is summing up to the distance A to G. So I can also write 4R is equals to AG. We'll come back to this point later. Just remember, I'm writing AG is equals to 4R. You understand from this direction, even if it is a confusing here, how do we get the 4R values here? The atom within the body contributes its whole self to the unit cell. Those at the corners contribute only one sector of the S. So the sector of the radius of the sector, I have marked it as R, and R diameter is equals to 2R. So together we get the 4R. I have written it 4R is equals to AG. The next, to calculate the exact value of R, I am going to draw the triangle here. If you look at it, does it look like a right-angled triangle? Now, right-angled triangle, Pythagoras theorem, if you talk about it here. Now, name of the triangle, according to the Pythagoras theorem, ABC. So, if I consider in triangle ABC, just see the ABC. In triangle ABC, what's the Pythagoras theorem talks about? Hypotenuse side is equals to sum of the opposite and the adjacent side. So in triangle ABC, what is the name of the hypotenuse is equals to AC. AC square is equals to AB square plus BC square. Now, how will we calculate the value of AC is equals to? Therefore, AC is equals to square root of AB square plus BC square. All you have learnt it in your lower classes, so it's not a big deal to do this calculation. Now, what's the value of AB? We have taken it to be A. So, when I say AB square, it becomes A square. What's the edge length of BC? We have taken it to be A. So, BC square will become A square. Now, we imagine to be 1 here and 1 here. So, together they sum up to AC is equals to 2A square. Taking the square root of it. Therefore, AC is equals to square root 2 remains as it is. A square, the square root of A square into A. So, we have got the value of AC is equals to square root 2A. So, what's the value of this hypotenuse? Square root 2A. Now, the sum is not over. We have one more part. Now, you have calculated the hypotenuse side of the triangle ABC. So, AC is also common. That's the AC you have calculated. AC is also common for the triangle which is placed above the layer. So, what's the name of the triangle? In triangle ACG. Sorry, it's ACG. I'm not confusing you. Making use of the edge length, we are calculating the length of the AC. After calculating the length of the AC, you know the value of AC and you know the value of GC. It's easy for us to calculate the number of R. How many R's are there? AG is equals to 4R. It's easy for us to calculate. So, in triangle ACG, again according to the Pythagoras theorem, what is the hypotenuse here? AG is the hypotenuse. So, AG square is equals to sum of the opposite and the adjacent. So, that will become AC square plus GC square. Therefore, AG is equals to square root of AC square plus GC square. Let's substitute. What's the value of AC? We have got it to be square root 2A. So, take down square root 2A the whole square because AC square we are taking. Plus CG square is equals to, edge length is equals to A. We write it as a square. Now, you also know square root 2 into square root 2 comes up to 2. So, we are writing it here. Square root of this one will be 2A square plus A square. Now, if we imagine 1 to be here, what's the answer is equals to? AG is equals to square root of 3A square. It's a third number. We'll leave it as it is here. AG is equals to square root of 3. Square root of A square is equals to A. So, you have got the value AG is equals to square root 3A. What did we find the AG to be? AG is equals to 4R. How did we get the 4R? If you remember, look at this structure, you will know how did we get the 4R. Let's substitute the value. In place of AG, I am going to substitute this value. So I get here 4R is equals to square root of 3 into A. How shall we calculate the R from here? Therefore, R is equals to square root 3 by 4 into A. So I hope the concept is clear. It's the easy mathematics for you only to work out. So we started with the packing efficiency formula, then volume of a unit cell, that's the volume of a cube you know to write down. Then we went on to calculate the volume of the sphere, we need to know the value of R. So we have done the drawing I have done and how the spheres are shared here, and based on this we are calculating the value of one hypotenuse. Making use of this hypotenuse value, we are calculating the other hypotenuse value, which is a sum of 4 radius here. So therefore, their R is equals to, finally when you substitute into this formula, you get R is equals to square root 3 by 4A. Now let's substitute this R value into the formula of the volume of the sphere. So what's the formula of the volume of the sphere? Let me take some other, Okay, let me write with the green ink here. So R value you have got to be square root 3 by 4 into A. So substituting into this formula, therefore volume of a sphere is equals to, I'm just writing the short form, 4 by 3 into pi into, what's my value of R is equals to? That is root 3 by 4 into A, the whole cube we have to write. Now let's move with one more thing. Let's simplify the step here. So if we simplify 4 by 3 into pi as it is, you also will know cube root, a square root of 3 into square root of 3 into, in a third method, square root of 3 into 2 of the square root will become a 3. So the final answer is 3 into square root 3. So you get 3 into square root 3 into A cube. Now when you multiply 4 into 4 into 4, we get 64 as the answer. So let's go to simplify it. 1s are 16s are 3 and 3 get cancelled. So you get your answer to be here pi, that's the square root 3 will come, square root 3 pi A cube by 16. Now this is the volume of the spheres in a body centered. Now when we say body centered, how many atoms are present in a body centered? We have learnt it already. So I am writing it here. Number of atoms in a BCC is equals to, if you remember, NC by 8 into NB by 1. When we say body centered, how many atoms will be there within the unit cell? Only one will be there, along with the atoms at the corners. So that's the formula we are writing here, NC by 8. So if I substitute the value 8 by 8, you understand from where am I getting 8 by 8 into 1 by 1, because only one cell. If we simplify, the answer is coming up to 2. So volume of the one sphere is root 3 by square root 3 pi A cube by 16. So when we say number of atoms in a BCC, how many spheres are there? 2 spheres are there. Multiply this answer with the 2. Therefore, total, because we have to calculate the total volume of the occupied spheres. Therefore, total volume of the spheres. Total volume of the spheres in a BCC is equals to, whatever answers you've got, multiply it with the number of atoms in a BCC. So we write here 2 into square root 3 into pi into A cube by 16. So further when we simplify, what's the answer we will get? 1s are 8s are. So we will get square root 3 into pi A cube by 8. Now we are coming back to, so this is another answer. That's a total volume of the spheres occupied in a unit cell. Finally, what have we to calculate? Packing efficiency we have to calculate. So this answer you substitute. Therefore, packing efficiency. Therefore, packing efficiency is equals to the total volume that you have got, square root 3 pi a cube by 8 by volume of the unit cell is equals to a cube into 100. If we rearrange this step, what will be our answer? That is square root 3 into pi into a cube by 8 into a cube by 100. A cube and a cube will get cancelled. What's the value of, let me take some other here. What's the value of square root 3 is equals to 1.732. Value of pi is equals to 3.14. Substitute all the values here. Square root 3 value will be 1.732 into pi value 3.14 into 100 divided by 8. We get the final answer to be, that is 68%. In terms of simple cubic arrangement, we got the percentage of the atoms occupying the space to be only 52.31%. But in a body-centered cube, the spaces occupied by the atoms or particles is equals to 68%. So therefore we can say B in BCC, the spaces occupied better than in SC. So SC only 52.31% of the spaces occupied. If you remember, what's the meaning of space occupied here? There are empty spaces available. In simple cube, more spaces available. Compared to simple cube, BCC has got a better attractive forces between the atoms. So the percentage is coming up to 68%. Thank you.